Welcome back. You're watching Vaticano. The Trinity Lavra of St. Sergius is the spiritual center of the Russian Orthodox Church. Lavra means convent. It's located in the town of Sergiev Posad, about 40 miles northeast of Moscow. St. Sergius arrived here to lead a simple, solitary monastic life. But God had other plans, transforming the small Sergius monastic community into the center of Russian Orthodox spirituality. And since then, countless pilgrims of all ages and social statuses have been coming here to find a spiritual refuge. St. Sergius was once told by God in a vision that he would have as many followers as the birds circling above Lavra. Lavra has never lacked vocations, and even today, after 70 years of state atheism, the community counts 120 monks and 700 students in its theological academy. Archimandrite Makary is a medieval historian and a member of the St. Sergius Brotherhood. He knows the life of St. Sergius better than any other living man.
From the chronicles of his life, it is known that even before his birth, when his mother, the pious Maria, was in the liturgical service, during the cherubic song, the child shouted 3 times, even though not yet being born, and biographers give this special importance because at the time he was already the vessel of the life-giving Trinity.
On the 3rd of May, 1319, the future St. Sergius was born and his parents gave him the name Bartholomew. As a child, Bartholomew had difficulty in his studies until a wonderful thing occurred.
But one day an angel appeared to him in the form of an old man. He blessed him to read the Psalter, and initially he felt very uncomfortable because studies was not his strength. But an old man blessed him, and after that everything was straightened out and went well.
As a result of this story, St. Sergius is now considered the patron saint of students. Young Bartholomew, following the examples of the great fathers of monastic life, found a quiet place in these woods and started his life as a hermit.
Well, when we talk about the ascetics, they are special lighters of the spirits. And the ascetics were much more, let's say, merged with nature. The monk Sergei came here into the wild forest. He builds a cell, builds a chapel, and starts his monastic life. And then the beasts could come to him. The bear came fed with his own bread, which he didn't have much of, but he shared it with him. The bear was not afraid of him and did not pose a threat to him. This is also a sign of the special holiness that St. Sergius reveals to us.
However, other monks started coming to live near St. Sergius's cell. They wanted to follow St. Sergius and convinced him to become their spiritual father. Consequently, St. Sergius was ordained to the priesthood. When the Patriarchate Philotheus of Constantinople heard about the life of the hermit St. Sergius, he sent him a monastic charter, so transforming the hermit's recluse into a convent community.
And in this respect, Venerable Sergius is not the founder of monasticism in Moscow, Rus. But of course, during his time, Moscow, Rus was adorned with monasteries, thanks primarily to St. Sergius.
Благодаря прежде всего преподобному Сергию.
During St. Sergius's life, his disciples founded about 40 monasteries. St. Sergius played a key role in establishing peace among the Rus kingdoms and uniting Russian lands under the leadership of Moscow. He blessed St. Dmitry Donskoy to fight the Tatars only after he was certain that there were no peaceful means to resolve the conflict. For many historians, the victory of the Battle of Kulikovo is a turning point for Moscow Rus in gaining independence from the Tatar Mongols, thus leading to the formation of the modern Russian state. St. Sergius didn't want to take part in the political life of the country. Once he was even proposed to become the patriarch, while he himself preferred to remain a simple monk.
Преподобный Сергий оставил нас
St. Sergius left us with his body and moved to heaven to another world. But his holy relics rest here, and he is still our hegumen, and we are all his novices.
игуменом, а мы все его послушники.
St. Sergius left his disciples with one main decree, which was to welcome all who come to Lavra. And indeed today, pilgrims come to Lavra every day to pray before the relics of St. Sergius. As Archimandrite Makari says, everyone comes with their own petition, either pilgrim or tourist, and everyone finds what they're seeking. The name of Saint Sergius of Radonesh has spread far beyond the Russian borders. Indeed, this simple Russian monk is now known throughout Europe and in America. In the period of the Second Vatican Council, Saint Sergius was recognized as a saint by the Catholic and Episcopalian churches. What were the motives? To answer this question, we caught up with an expert of Eastern spirituality of the same name, Sergio Mercansin.
The reason is that, especially after the Council of Ferrara, Florence, where a certain unity was established, unfortunately for a short time, the two churches, the Western and the Eastern, that's to say the Catholic and the Orthodox, recognized the saints. One church recognized the saints of the other. So there was a common sanctoral and martyrology. Then, after the Second Vatican Council, the Catholic Church opened up even more to the saints of other churches and to the Orthodox saints in particular.
Sergio says that Saint Sergius of Radonesh was the first Russian mystic saint. His way of life adhered closely to the mystery of the Holy Trinity, and this mysticism inspired Saint Andrei Rublev to write one of the finest iconic representations of the triune God.
This icon, as Andrei Rublev painted it, leaves out Abraham and Sarah and focuses on the three characters who, according to tradition, are the first manifestation of the Holy Trinity. Someone says that the three characters are represented in a specific position by which they decide the incarnation of the Son.
After his death and resurrection, Jesus wanted to remain in this world to establish his church for the salvation of all.
By contemplating the Holy Trinity, we overcome the odious division of this world.
Where there is division, Christians can find common ground in the examples of the saints. From the close relationship between Catholic and Russian Orthodox Christians, we discover the steps towards unity. We pray to our saints, both Catholic and Orthodox, asking them to intercede for the unity of the Church of Christ in the world.